Khanbaliq or Dadu was the capital of the Yuan dynasty, the main center of the Mongol Empire founded by Kublai Khan and in what is now Beijing, also the capital of China today. It was located at the center of modern Beijing. The Central Secretariat directly administered the central region of the Yuan Empire and dictated policies for the other provinces. Kublai and his successors also claimed supremacy over the entire Mongol Empire, although in practice that had already fragmented into a number of khanates since the death of Mongol Khan. The name Khanbaliq comes from the Mongolian and Uyghur words Khan and Balik, city of the Khan. It was actually in use among the Eastern Turks and Mongols before the fall of Dadu, in reference to the Jin emperors. It is traditionally written as Khanbaliq in English, after its spelling in Rustichello's retelling of Marco Polo's travels. The name Dadu, formerly romanized as Tartu, is the pinyin transcription of the Chinese name, meaning grand capital. The Mongols also called the city Dadu, which was a transliteration directly from the Chinese. In modern Chinese, it is referred to as Yuan Dadu to distinguish it from other cities which have borne similar names. History. Zhongdu, the central capital of the Jurchen Jin dynasty, was located at a nearby site now part of Zhejiang district. It was destroyed by Genghis Khan in 1215 when the Jin court began contemplating a move south to a more defensible capital such as Kaifeng. The imperial mint established in 1260 and responsible for the printing of Chao, the Yuan fiat paper money, was probably located at nearby Yanjing even before the establishment of the new capital. In 1264, Kublai Khan visited the Dunning Palace on Jade Island in Tire Lake, and was so enchanted with the site that he directed his capital to be constructed around the garden. The chief architect and planner of the capital was Liu Bingzhong, who also served as supervisor of its construction. His student Guo Shoujing and the Muslim Ikhtiar al-Din were also involved. The construction of the walls of the city began in the same year, while the main imperial palace was built from 1274 onwards. The design of Khanbaliq followed several rules laid down in the Confucian classic The Right to Zhou, including 9 vertical and horizontal axes, palaces in front, markets in back, ancestral worship to the left, divine worship to the right. It was broad in scale, strict in planning and execution, and complete in equipment. A year after the 1271 establishment of the Yuan dynasty, Kublai Khan proclaimed the city his capital under the name Dadu, although construction was not fully completed until 1293. His previous seat at Chengdu became the summer capital. As part of the Great Khan's policy of religious tolerance, Khanbaliq had various houses of worship. It even was the seat of a Roman Catholic archdiocese of Khanbaliq from 1307 until its 1357 suppression. It was restored in 1609 as Diocese of Peking. The Hongwu Emperor of the Ming dynasty sent an army to Khanbaliq in 1368. The last Yuan emperor fled north to Xanadu while the Ming razed the palaces of their capital to the ground. The former capital was renamed Beiping and Shuntian Prefecture was established in the area around the city. The Hongwu emperor was succeeded by his young grandson, the Zhaoan emperor. His attempts to rein in the fiefs of his powerful uncles provoked the Jingyan rebellion and, ultimately, his usurpation by his uncle, the Prince of Yan. Yan's power base lay in Shuntian and he quickly resolved to move his capital north from Yingshan to the ruins at Beiping. He shortened the northern boundaries of the Mongol city and added a new and separately walled southern district. Upon the southern extension of the Tire Lake, the raising of Wansui Hill over Mongol ruins, and the completion of the Forbidden City to its south, he declared the city his northern capital Beijing. With one brief interruption, it has borne the name ever since. Legacy. Ruins of the Yuan era walls of Khanbaliq are still extant and are known as the Tusheng, lit. Dirt Wall. Despite the capture and renaming of the city by the Ming, the name Dadu remained in use among the Mongols of the Mongolia-based northern Yuan dynasty. The Lament of the Last Yuan Emperor, Tofontima, concerning the loss of Khanbaliq and Chengdu, is recorded in many Mongolian historical chronicles such as the Altan Tobshi and the Asari Siniri Tuyinchuka. Khanbaliq remained the standard name for the Beijing in Persian and the Turkic languages of Central Asia and the Middle East for quite a long time. It was, for instance, the name used in both the Persian and Turkic versions of Ghiyath al-Din Nakash's account of the 1419–1422 mission of Shah Rukh's envoys to the Ming capital. The account remained one of the most detailed and widely read accounts of China in these languages for centuries. When European travelers reached China by sea via Malacca and the Philippines in the 16th century, they were not initially aware that China was the same country as the Cathay, about which they had read in Marco Polo, nor that his Khanbaliq was the city known to the southern Chinese as Pekin. It was not until the Jesuit Matteo Ricci's first visit to Beijing in 1598 that he encountered Central Asian visitors who confirmed that the city they were in was Khanbaliq. The publication of his journals by his aide announced to Europe that Cathay was China and Khanbaliq, Beijing, Chinese Ba, and Chinese Lu. Many European maps continued to show Cathay and its capital, Khanbaliq, somewhere northeast of China proper. However, for much of the 17th century,